Hey, Schaefer, man, I literally just had my life flash before my eyes.
What are you talking about? What happened?
Yo, I made the dumbest mistake. I almost got slammed.
Doing what?
I didn't let go of a triangle.
We need to talk about this right now on Open Mat Chronicles.
All right, you guys, welcome back to another episode of Open Mat Chronicles. 1865 Rod here. We're coming back at you guys weekly. And as always, we got my man Schaefer in the house.
What's up, everybody? Schaefer's in the house. Yeah, man, we're having a good time. We were just talking about some Star Trek stuff. It was pretty funny.
It was so random.
It was random.
I just threw out a one line from like 20 years ago, and I was, oh, yeah, it was from Star Trek, episode 13B or whatever.
All right, I'm a nerd, man. It is what it is. But
That was pretty good. I was impressed.
Thank you. So here's what's going on, right? Listen to this, everybody. I'm talking to Rod, and I'm like, man, Rod, I hear you almost had an incident. I was like, you almost caught a bad one the other day. What happened? Tell us, man.
Okay, so it could have been bad, bro. I was rolling with this white belt, right? I think it was his first day. He might have trained a little bit in the past, maybe like a month or so, but it was first day, young kids, like 20-something years old, and I'm just rolling around with him, Snooki, catch him in a triangle, and next thing you know, like, I'm up in the air. I'm like, what is this? It's not supposed to happen. And then everything was good. He didn't slam me, but I was looking at him, and we like made eye contact. And then no, he just put me down. He was kind of laughing. He goes, I'm like, yo, dude, you can't slam. He goes, no, I know. I wasn't gonna slam you. I was just kind of joking around. I just thought it was gonna be like MMA. I'm like, oh.
Right.
So he's actually a really nice guy. He had no malicious intent.
You got to call him real nice when he doesn't knock you unconscious with a slam.
Bro, I could have got jacked up. But it got me thinking too of several things. Okay, First off, Harold, my buddy, I think we talked about this before, good purple belt. He got slammed in a competition.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And I was thinking, dang, you should have opened up, whatever. And I talked to another guy. I met this MMA fighter in the gym. He was showing me one of his matches. The guy tried to triangle him. He slammed the crap out of him. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that dude just messed up, bro. He should have just opened the triangle. But I'm thinking, like, dude, I'm a black belt, bro. I didn't open the triangle. I just didn't. It was the weirdest thing because now I can see it. Hey, man, for all you haters who want to talk, it may happen because you just don't think about it because
it could happen to you.
It can happen to you. And so I think it's because
it's muscle memory.
It's
man.
muscle memory, dude.
Like,
we're not training like that. I did what my muscles are trained to do, and that's to get that triangle.
Absolutely.
And that could be detrimental, in another situation.
And look, everybody's going to be like, you're going to get hundreds of people. Hey, man, you should have shot your arm under.
Yeah, bro, like I don't know
grabbed
that.
the
Yeah.
leg. Like, we know. We get it, right?
Yeah.
We get it. But
Number one, I was on the wrong side. So I was trying to get to this side to get the leg. So I eventually got it. But during that transition, locking it up, trap, retrap, all that, blah, 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 he just picked me up.
That's it.
And I just didn't, my first instinct wasn't
just let
to
go.
let go. Well, now, obviously I have that in my mind here. So probably if it happened again, I would do it now.
for
But
sure.
what I'm saying is it's not unconsciously in your mind to let go. It's not going to be there. You may think it is, but it's not going to be there. I'm telling you.
Unless you actually drill it
regularly. Every time.
And
hey,
who drills let go?
But you know what? Maybe that would be a solution, though. Like, the guy picks you up, boom, you let go.
Yeah.
That's the only way to get the muscle memory.
Yes.
Because what we're doing is we're relying on the benevolence of your training partner, right?
Well, yes. You're going off the assumption, which you shouldn't assume, but you're going off the assumption that, yeah, he's not just going to knock me unconscious because he knows the rules, man. And that's against the rules. Which brings us to our next thing, right? We get all these new white belts in, they're fresh in. Maybe they watched a bunch of MMA. They did this, they did that. Maybe they did Krav Maga and or Raikou Jitsu or whatever, whatever it is, Aki Kimbo Jitsu, whatever. And they're like, hey, man, everything I used to do was street lethal, so it's just like, this is all I know. So they get on the mat, and they're starting to roll, and you're like, okay, listen. And unfortunately, you might set up one of your blue belts, purple belts, brown belts for a bad time because you go, hey, man, go ahead and work with this new guy. Just go light. It's only his first, second day or whatever. He doesn't really know anything, but we're going to let him roll a little bit. So your unsuspecting upper belt goes to help, And the first thing the guy does is like grab a finger and he twists it
Oh,
sideways.
he did that to me
Or-
too. He would grab like 3 digits, spin it back, and I told him, like, hey, don't do that. And he was,
Right?
like I said, nice guy. He just didn't
for
know.
sure. Or you're in no-gi, and first thing he does, he grabs your rash guard, he damn near pulls it off of you, or whatever. It's like they do things that you're not allowed to do.
Yeah,
But then we never told them they couldn't do that.
never told him.
So why are we freaking assuming that they know?
We just do though. It goes worse. It goes deeper than that, Harold. We assume they'll even know how to tap. Like, do we
Oh,
even
my
tell
God.
them? When's the last time you said, "Hey, you have to tap"?
Well,
And this is how you tap. You physically and verbally
yeah,
tap.
I did that. Not my last class, my class before last. So
Good,
Wednesday
good.
night.
Nice.
Wednesday night, I was working with some young white belts, some young Padawans, and they're working on a move, and the guy's got his arm hyperextended, and the guy who's getting tapped out just does this little light,
baby tap.
soft tap on the mat, and I was watching, thankfully, because the move was still happening. This little light tap was happening to get him to stop, and I'm like, whoa, 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 tap. I said, listen, you need to make it known that you are trying to stop him from injuring you. I was like, you can't be embarrassed when you tap. You should just let the world know that you have been tapped, because that way you can have witnesses if they just decide to snap your shit off, right? You can, I tried to get him to stop, and he just ignored it. You can't hide a tap.
You can't hide a tap.
Yeah, tap verbally, smack the mat hard if you can't reach your partner. If you can reach your partner, tap on your partner. If there's a referee, then tap the partner, but make it a big and clear thing that the ref can see too, so that the ref will help your ass. You don't want to hide a tap. You don't want to go, well, I'm embarrassed that I got caught in this, so I'm just going to tap lightly, because then what you're going to hear is a snap.
Actually,
Oh,
I got a funny story. That actually happened to me once. I had to learn the hard way. I was rolling with Henson. Shout out to Henson, man. So I was going kind of aggressive with him a little bit.
Right.
And then, we reset. He's like, okay, all right, I got something for you. He catches me in an arm bar. Like, just traditional arm bar. He's in the bottom. And I did like the little,
Oh,
I didn't even say I just did a little baby tap.
The little-
no, dude, that one worked.
the little pussycat tap.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so soft. Little,
I didn't want to acknowledge it. Next thing you know, pop, pop. I'm like, all right, tap.
Yeah.
Okay.
After it's already broken.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, man, I can't hate on him, dude. That was on me.
And it is. Listen.
But obviously it was ego, man. I should just said tap.
Well,
and I'll
it's
never
an
do that
ego
again.
thing.
And I don't do that, But we always say check you at the door.
Hell yeah.
Hey, man, and I was well enough along to where I should have known better. I think I was a pretty good brown belt at the time that happened.
Right.
It's not like I was a blue belt.
You just didn't want to be embarrassed.
I didn't want to tap, dude.
Yeah, you don't
He's like,
wanna
okay,
tap.
don't tap. You ain't got to tap.
Look. I told the story before. I was
He's a nice guy. No. It was a teachable moment. It was
Oh,
a
it's
good
definitely
thing.
a teachable moment.
Yeah.
Or you learned a lesson if nothing else. Like I told before, I had the guy. I think I was a purple. He was like a blue belt. He caught me clean in an Americana, and I'm like, nah, man, I'm getting out of this shit. And I had to learn the hard way. I had to get my arm popped all up, and I was out of commission. It's like I was fighting with one arm for a while. Dumb. Tap loud.
But see, I want to make sure I clarify this right too,
Yeah.
because he's a nice dude. It's not like I don't think that would have even happened
Absolutely.
if it would have been just a normal roll. I was going ham on him, dude. So I brought up the roll to like a much more
you
aggressive
escalated.
pace. And then, I think then his adrenaline was up, so he was going hard. So that's why. He's a good
But
dude.
if you would have yelled out tap,
Oh, he would have let go.
He would
have
have
let go immediately. Yeah, 100%.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Look, I make it very, very clear when I'm tapping. I don't hide a tap, because especially if you're rolling with like your brand new white belts or something like that, and you feed them a move, like most of the time we get hurt. What do we say? We're feeding somebody a move.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit, I'm on it. And next thing you know, you need to yell that out. Make sure they know that you want them to stop from injuring you. It's crazy. I've had most of my injuries come from that kind of stuff. It's just dumb shit that I get hurt by.
That was
I get
many
injured
years
by.
ago.
So how are we going to do this? Like, what are we going to do? Like, we get our new guy. Do we say, okay, hey, here's Billy, and welcome to jiu-jitsu, Billy. Today, we're going to put you in a class, but, everybody's ready for warm-ups. Now, do you do this whole time? You're like, all right, here's what you can't do. You can't do this, can't do that, can't do this. Here's what we expect you to do this, expect you to do that.
They don't do that.
Nobody
does
or
that.
you know what? Let me not say nobody. I don't know of anybody
I haven't witnessed it.
who takes a brand new person, especially if they run like an integrated class where they got like all the different ranks together and just says, I'm going to break down all the do's and don'ts beforehand.
They don't. You know what they do? They say, make sure you wear your shoes off the mat. They tell them that, right? Make sure your geese. They'll tell them a couple, but you kind of sprinkle them in each class. So, like, I think you learn the rules as you go along.
Yes.
Just kind of organically. So,
but that organic learning
could cause
opens
injuries.
up a lot of injuries.
Yes, I 100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah, that's one way to learn, right?
Yeah.
Get your shit broke off.
Yeah.
But we don't want that. We don't want
that.
We want some structure, man.
Like even little things, like when you're training in the gi, like the proper way to break grips. Like when's the last time they actually taught? Like, I mean, they teach break grips. They teach that, yeah. But do they address like don't just freaking yank it out? Like they don't really cover it a whole lot, or how to actually.
You know what's
properly.
crazy? Some people that's how they break the grip. It's like that is 100% allowed.
The chainsaw,
yeah,
or lawnmower, or whatever, right?
It's a legal way to break the grip. So I think in that instance, the better thing to teach is don't hold on for dear life if you feel somebody about to snatch it up.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, otherwise you're going to have those gnarled up knuckles and tape for days.
What about wrestlers that come in like they always try to can open you like they don't know and they're a good example because they know how to grapple. They're experienced grapplers.
Absolutely.
And that's in their just arsenal as a can opener, something they do all the time.
I love the can opener. I ain't gonna lie. Like if it's no gi, and it's like, all right, I think the can opener should be a completely legal move. Like
I don't have a problem with it. I don't let no one get behind my neck.
Able to do it. Like neck cranks and all that. Why not? You should be able to do that.
Neck cranks, some of them are pretty gnarly though.
They are, but you can tap.
Yeah, but sometimes they come on quick.
We'll see, and then
you see some Eric Paulson.
Heel hooks come on quick
he'll
too.
Break your neck.
I mean, a heel hook can come on pretty quick. Anything can come on pretty quick. It's like it's all dangerous, dude. We're teaching people how to hurt each other. So it's
the
like
neck is just different. That's your life. Your life is in your neck, not in your heel. Right? You can lose a heel, but you can't lose a neck.
I can make you move around in a
like
walker
this.
for a little while, or I can put you in a chair.
You're walking like this,
right?
That's horrible, man.
Dude, it is horrible. Well, look, I mean, that's how my neck got broken.
I'm okay
right?
with
it
not,
was
I'm
it was
okay
the
with not having
Kesikatami, and then it was a crank from the Kesikatami, and it popped my damn freaking vertebrae. But I don't know, man. It should be legal. Like you should be allowed to do it. You should just
I think maybe
be aware
in a competition. In a competition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you're training,
and then maybe that's a brown belt or above move, just like a knee bar, just like a heel hook. Well, so heel hooks aren't.
No, heel hooks
so
brown belt
random.
and above.
It's so random. Like
heel hooks brown belt and above.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's a leg attack. Okay.
Yeah,
So all leg attacks, with the exception
but
of
in
straight
no
ankle
gi though,
lock.
and not in IBJJF. I believe you
Can't
can't
do 'em at all.
in the gi at all. Yeah.
I can't do them at all. Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. I'm cool with that. Brown belt, you can do neck cranks. You should be able to do calf slices. You should be able to do damn near anything other than punch the guy in the face. You know, it's like, don't do that. So what about it though, man? Like, do we set up a class and just go, okay, look, we got our new people. Maybe like they can only come in Tuesday and Thursday, and that'll be a beginner's class. Now anybody can show up, but we're only working on beginner stuff. We're gonna do these refreshers. We're gonna do, 5-10 minutes of hey, going over rules, understanding things.
Yeah. It's so challenging because like, what if you're the new guy? I can only come in on Wednesday and Friday.
Right.
Then you never get exposed to it. So I don't know what the solution is, Harold. It's hard to teach
Could you maybe
jiu-jitsu.
just strongly suggest that they go to those two classes? But if they want to go to the other class, understand that now you're in a intermediate or advanced class, and we're not going backwards. We're not going to go like we're not going to explain to you how to do any of these basic guards. We're just going to presume that you know it because you decided to come to this class.
That's what happens. Like you keep moving forward, right? You start teaching. Let's say you start teaching fundamentals. You do that for like a year, and then you're looking around. Everybody's been with you for that year. Your class is building up. You're getting more and more. So you're pushing farther and farther and farther because these people are looking for more moves, basically.
Right.
Like, well, I already know this. Even though they're happy with those basic moves still,
Yeah.
but they still might want a little bit of that new stuff, right, to be exposed to it. So it's a hard thing to teach. I don't have an answer for it, really. I really don't.
Well, I mean, it almost comes to, you know how we were talking about the not the combatives, but like those beginners. Like there's like a whole Gracie course that they actually do cover like almost a year's worth of shit, and it's just kind of like even if you
just get your foundation down.
don't do the first one, even if you start on the 10th class, it'll
kind of
just
recycles. Yeah, I like
recycle
that. I like
year
that.
after year.
Yeah.
That way you have enough new material to learn, but it's all basic new material. And then if you do pop out and go do like a damn K-guard class, good Lord.
That was awesome. Don't make fun of my K-guard, dude. That was
I'm
awesome.
not making fun. That was awesome.
I know.
But dude, we
But
had
you know,
like a
K-guard
couple
is
of brand
advanced.
new people, and I'm like, yeah, you
I
guys
know.
are
But, you know, we had a lot of purples, too, though.
and that's why you taught it.
I
And that's what I'm
know.
saying. I get it. It made perfect sense.
But
They're
it's rough.
ready for
I know.
it.
I know.
But like you walk in, you like, boy, I got this brand new white belt. I'm about to do this
Show us the
jujitsu.
K-guard.
And you're like, what the fuck is this?
No, but we did. We
What am
broke
I
it off, though.
looking
Didn't we? We split them
I
off.
certainly did. I grabbed them, and I was like, get over here. You
Yeah.
guys come with me. And that's where I also recognized, I was like, oh shit, he's hiding the tap. He doesn't want to show that he's getting tapped. And that's why I was like, oh, this is not good, buddy. You gotta make sure people know what's happening.
Oh, that's a different guy. That's not the guy who picked me up.
No, it wasn't even a guy picking.
Oh, so
that's
it's
what I'm
common.
saying.
It's a common thing.
There's a bunch of white belts, and I'm like, you don't need to be doing K-guard today.
Oh,
You
no,
just-
100%.
You don't need this.
They can't
You
do it.
need
They
to
couldn't do it
come-
anyway. It's just too complicated for somebody to start doing.
Agreed. And technically, they're not allowed to do the moves
Yeah,
that
it wouldn't
come from
even
K-guard.
benefit them. No, I know that, but it's one of those things to where
It was a cool class.
I've had a lot of people ask me about it. Right, our regulars on Wednesdays, I'm going to teach it. So
Yep.
if I have it in my mind, I can't change my whole class just because the 3 white belts came in.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Shit, we talked about that before
Yeah.
too. I don't change a class. Whatever
Yeah.
I'm teaching, that's what I'm teaching. I don't
Just
give a
like-
shit who shows up.
Yeah.
Special guests. You can have, oh man, we got 10 black belts coming in from these classes, these schools, and
You
I'm not
teaching a
changing my
scissor sweep.
class.
It's gonna be a
If
scissor
I'm
sweep.
teaching a scissor sweep,
It's gonna be a scissor
and a bump and roll, guess what these black belts are learning today?
I don't care if Marcelo Garcia shows up.
Don't
We're
give a
teaching a
shit.
scissor sweep.
I'm like, hey Marcelo, you know this one? I mean, listen.
No, you're right.
I teach what I teach. When I'm teaching a class, that's what's being taught. I don't make adjustments for who shows up.
Yeah, and I'm the kind of guy too. It's like I have a lot of stuff that I can teach, but I try to put thought into what my class is going to be. So
Right.
if I put together something, it's hard for me to just throw together something like on the fly, you know, at the
Yeah.
last minute that won't seem like I do it together on the fly.
Right.
Right.
Hey, I've done that too, though. I ain't gonna lie.
I wanna put some
Friday.
effort
I
into
felt
it.
like I did one on the fly. I was
Yeah,
like,
but
holy
Friday's
shit.
it's Friday.
I know.
dude.
I
It's
know.
not
It's
that-
more.
Friday's
It's more of
supposed
an
to be out the
open
fly.
mat. Yeah. I know.
Friday's like 1 or 2 moves, Q&A, and we're good. And it's more of a rolling session,
Yes,
right? We did
for
like
sure.
45 minutes, an hour rolling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what are we gonna do? I mean,
man,
what
I
do
don't
you
know.
guys do?
Well-
Are you doing beginners only classes? Are you forcing people to go? I'll tell you this. So when we started at Hassett's, that was not the case, right? But it was smaller. But as it's gotten bigger, he actually has classes that from the day you start to like however many months in, right? You can't go to the other classes. Like you are relegated to these beginner classes only until you've done
Yeah, that's actually pretty
a
good.
certain amount of combatives and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess the scary part, if you're a gym owner, is how many people are just going to bail. How many people are going to be like, man, this is bullshit. I don't want to just come in and learn how to stand in base and.
But they
break
won't even
fall.
know what they won't know, do they? They don't know what they don't know. They don't even know these other guards exist. They don't know anything about
They don't
them.
know that the other guards exist. I agree.
That could be fancy to them. Standing base is exciting. When you first do it, like, oh, that's awesome.
And I think
That
that's
little kick,
true.
right? You fall out,
Yes.
do a little kick to the knees.
I
you
think
stand in
that's
base.
true
No, it's awesome.
for most people, right? I think if they're coming in and you are saying, hey, look, this is the foundation, right? You don't want to build your house on a shaky foundation.
100%
because,
agree.
Sure, you can do a heel hook, but if you fall on your ass, you can't even stand up
Oh, yeah.
properly. That's a problem.
Yeah.
You know?
And I would say the guys that are, because we've been doing a lot of fundamentals outside
Yeah.
of, like, some of the stuff I do on Wednesdays, not fundamental. Well, especially
It's fun,
it's
but it's
fun,
not fundamental.
Okay, so here's the thing: if it's not like leg lock stuff, then it's gonna be more basic. I'm gonna do basic stuff, like maybe like a Z guard or like a Kimuras, arm bars. But if I go into leg stuff, then some of that stuff, I think leg locks inherently are not super fundamental.
No,
like they're
I agree.
automatically gonna be like predicated on a guy that kind of has some of this other foundations built
Yep.
in. So they're kind of separated right out of the gate.
Yeah, because I mean, first of all, to do a leg lock, you have to pretty much be willing to now open up your guard dramatically.
Yeah, to get the
You know
position.
what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and I even mentioned this on I think it was on Friday or whatever day. I was like, I think a really good way to teach is, especially teach all your guard attacks and fighting, is you start from the most locked down, safe position
Oh, yeah,
you can,
yeah.
which is
Closed
closed
guard.
guard, you know, over under grip, hugging
Yeah.
the guy to you, and then you're just making small incremental
Yeah.
moves that still keep this guy locked in place.
Yes.
And
I like
then
that.
I explained it as concentric circles, right? That first one is the tightest circle. Then the next one is your half guard or your
Z guard.
Z guard or something like that.
Z
and then
guard.
your next one, right?
If you're from
then
Australia.
the next circle out, now you're dealing with maybe like
Open guard
open
of some
guard,
kind, like
right?
a
You're playing all that other shit.
Delahiva or something like
spider
that,
guard,
yeah.
all those things. And then finally you're basically
going-
not even
you're
touching
spinning
the guy.
around going
You're
inverted.
spinning, yeah, you're doing all
M&I
that
roll.
bullshit. Right.
But I see what you're saying. It makes sense. It starts out tight and it starts
Yeah,
going wider and wider
exactly,
and wider.
wider
Yeah.
and wider. So that's how I
So you
learned,
can't-
and that's how I teach.
You're right. You can't teach somebody to start out here freaking M&R roll and they don't even know how to do the
They, how do you do this closed
how do you go
guard?
back? You can't go back.
I don't understand how to hold
Yeah.
them. How do you guys do that thing where you hold them in
Yeah.
between your legs? That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that should have been your day one class.
Yeah, you can't start out and go in, but you can go in and start and move outward.
So that dude showed up and learned K guard day one.
Actually, he didn't because I told that
I
guy to his
know.
face, "Look, we got a couple new white belts, brand new day one. This is not for you." I
Yes,
told him
you
that
did,
specifically.
You did. I
You're gonna hate
I
this.
collected everybody and I said, "Come with me if you want to
Yeah.
live."
You know, come with me if you want to live.
Yup. But they did good. They actually did really, really good.
Yeah, they got it.
And it's funny. I talked to them afterwards, and I was like, so what do you think about this other shit they're over there doing? They're like, man, that's. And he's like, I don't know if I can follow that.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the people that have a background like blue belts and above,
Yeah.
even if they don't use it, they're gonna at least recognize it. Because I tell you what, I tried to get it. And I couldn't get it, and I probably would have been able to get it from the closed guard.
Yeah, had
It's
you
sometimes
not
hard to
showed
get
it.
to it because I just showed it. They're like, okay, I
Yep.
know what this guy's doing.
Hell
so
yeah.
you always get a value out of it.
I agree. Listen, take whatever is being taught and make the most of it. Because again, I'm not going to change my whole class around for one person.
Yeah.
And most people I don't think would. So if you find yourself in a class and you're like, this isn't really my shit, but you recognize, it's still
You see the
good.
dangers of it.
You see how you could get caught in it. You understand the danger of it.
Oh, yeah.
right? And it's worth it. It's worth it to be able to avoid it.
I would say the majority of the moves will be that because for every move, I'd say, let's say you show 10 moves, you're probably going to pick up 2 or 3 of them,
Right.
And own them.
And
Maybe
you
own
might
one of
like
them.
one.
You might like one, right? So all those other moves, you still, you got some value out of it, right?
Yeah, you
you're
recognize
exposed to it. You recognize it. That's how we get better.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my argument. I don't know if it's going to make sense or not, but
Okay.
we're doing it random. A lot of schools do it random. They just show a plethora of just moves, but people are still getting freaking good, dude.
That's good. Yeah.
They're still getting good. So it's like
They
it's
do
still
good.
working. But are you saying that, like, do you think it would just work better? Because
So-
I will say there's some unbalanced students. And I think I was one of them for many years, like when I hadn't really gone back to my fundamentals.
Right.
So that could be an issue.
Okay. Here's something that I will give credit to Uncle Sam for. Taking someone who doesn't know a damn thing and making them learn something. The military is really good at that.
They break you down.
They break you down. They don't give you all these choices. They don't want you to walk your own path. They're
You're
like,
right.
hey, check this out. Do this, then do this. Then do this, then do this, and so on and so forth. Ta-da, you're a killer. And there's something to that structure. So, oh my
But
God.
now, if we
I'm
had them
about
every
to say
day, we
this.
could do it. That's a difference, though.
God, this is gonna suck. So, karate and most of these older traditional martial arts, they walk you through a structure.
Oh,
It's
you're right. You're
kata.
right. The katas is a
It's
structure.
freaking kata.
Yeah.
Like
They're trying to build
there's
muscle memory.
something to that repetition. There's something to everyone learning the same thing at the same time. There's something that
There's value to that.
there's a value that makes it lock into your brain.
Yeah.
It's like we're all doing it together. Ready, move. Ready, move. Ready, move. Like hell, even when you do your warm ups, right? You're like, all right, do a armbar, kimura, triangle,
omoplata.
10 times on each side.
Yeah.
There's actually something to controlling the pace of it too, to not just saying do it and then you kind of just walk away and then they do their 10. It's something to go. No. Ready?
I want good ones.
Move.
Clean ones.
Ready? Move. No, like everybody.
Oh, you mean everybody at the same time?
in
Oh.
unison, doing it at the same
Oh,
time.
you could. Oh man,
I'm
that's
talking like a real straight up military
Yeah.
drill, because now
that's structure.
you don't have anybody half-assing it. You don't have people throwing up weak legs.
Yeah, I see
or
people
only
trying to do.
kinda
That's
say-
why I say no. I want good, clean ones.
Yep.
You're
But
building your muscle memory right now. So
But if
don't
everybody's
cheat.
moving at the same time, there's nobody's trying to get through it quickly. They're like, oh shit, he might be looking at me right now. I gotta hit this perfectly.
Yeah,
Bow.
that does. I mean, logically, I see what you're saying. It does make sense.
It's just nobody wants to do
Nobody
that.
wants to do it because you kind of suck.
it sucks.
You're gonna feel like Big Dojo. That's why. But it does. But what you're saying
sucks.
makes sense.
Yes,
and
but
it probably
jujitsu-
would produce a good outcome.
The beauty of jujitsu for me is
know
the
why.
lack of structure.
Well, that's why it's an individualized sport.
It's the lack of structure.
Yeah, that's what makes it so attractive. We don't
Yeah.
want to. For the thing, that's the reason I didn't take karate. I didn't want to do a freaking kata for. I
Exactly.
didn't want to do it.
But there's value in it, and it's like how do you find the balance in it, right? You know, how do you find that happy medium where you're like, okay, we need enough structure so that everybody's getting the same shit, but we also need enough freedom and individuality
Yeah.
so that you can make it your own. You can still walk your own path. Man.
Maybe we found that balance. Maybe are we creating a problem that doesn't exist? Maybe it's good. I don't know, because these fools are getting good. These blue belts are killers now.
Are we making a problem that doesn't exist?
I don't know.
I think
We can always improve anything. Everything
yeah,
could be
I
improved.
don't know that it's a problem. It is an opening that could maybe be, tightened up.
Streamline it, make it better. At least the
Yeah.
rules part, I like that.
Right?
That definitely needs to be addressed,
Yeah,
I think.
I agree. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna have to talk offline and figure this out because I would like to see everybody not coming in and grabbing fingers and twisting them, or
Yeah.
or like I said, neck cranking to get out of freaking guard,
Or like little things like just stacking the crap out of somebody.
stacking
Like,
a guy.
like how do you even know? Like a new
Damn,
guy doesn't know when he's
But those are
stacked,
legal,
like-
man. You got to remember, stacking is legal.
I
It's
know.
just, it sucks.
It's some of these things are legal, but maybe they're not the best thing to do in
the
your training
beginning.
school.
So
when
know
you don't
what?
have control, you're not gonna have anybody want to roll with you,
Right,
and then
because you
ultimately-
don't have enough control.
Yeah, if you
the
hurt your
only
training
way you can-
partner,
yeah.
you're kind of a douchebag if you
Yes,
do it because of lack of care.
And the thing is, there's better ways to get out. There's
Oh,
better ways to
by
get out.
far.
So if
that's like the
you-
lowest common denominator.
if
Oh,
you
we'll
take
stack.
the-
I got a new idea. I'm big. I'll stack you.
and I'm going to crush you on your neck.
Yeah.
Right. I get it. So that's why you kind of go by the numbers. You say, hey, listen, here's a simple guard pass. And they're like, well, it doesn't work when I went against this higher belt, which is also why you don't put them against higher belts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, this is why if you're teaching this stuff, you're teaching these lower belts the same stuff. And you're teaching them things that will work in the beginning, but that are easily thwarted as you get better. But now that they've known this baseline, now you can add to it. You do jiu-jitsu is like scaffolding, right? You build that first level of scaffolding, boom, they can do their thing. You want to take them higher? Well, now you got this next level of scaffolding. You build all the scaffolding, and then you can start adding all these other things alongside of it and within it.
I wonder if an issue is this is just me brainstorming right now, but the way that we frame it, it's almost like we're teaching like somebody has to win and somebody has to lose, and this could be like a brand new like a white belt or even a white belt, any white belt. Like when you're training in there, it doesn't always it doesn't have to be somebody wins and somebody loses. It doesn't have to end in a tap.
Right.
Like if you have to start using, all of your freaking will and inner strength to try to get a submission, bro, it's not. You shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to use the techniques that you learned and see if they work. If they don't work, then you have to improve upon those techniques. But don't oh my God, I got to go so hard to.
I got 5 minutes. I got to
get my tap. Got to get my tap.
Again, like Ivan Drago, I must break you.
I must break you.
Right. It's like, no, there's more to it than that. You're right.
But it's inherently like that's the way it's set up. Okay, Kabosh, we're gonna fight for 5 minutes.
Right.
Like that means that I'm gonna win or you're gonna win. Somebody's gonna lose. It should really, ideally, it should just be
we're both
training.
gonna learn.
We're both just training right now. We're sparring or training.
Right.
Nobody really has to win. Now you're still gonna get winners and losers in that scenario.
Always. Because somebody will miss something and somebody will
capitalize
something.
on it. Yeah.
Right. One guy, he's really, really good. He's been practicing this move and he's got it. And the other guys, they're not ready for it yet. So yeah, absolutely.
You know what? If you get that balance with somebody, man, that's a beautiful thing. I'm telling you, those are the best roles when you have. You know who I have that with? Who's probably my favorite role of everybody else. Telling you is freaking Halen, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out to Halen. Halen is a fun role because he's super competitive. He's he's really, really good. He's a high level purple belt. He should have brown belt, didn't he? I thought he was brown.
Still purple, but he's
purple?
probably he's got to be coming close. Yeah.
But anyway, I don't want to get involved in all that. But
nah, it's all good.
Anyway, it's just fun because like we have that nuance to where we're trying to get each other, but not at all costs.
Yes.
Like you're rolling. It's like, could I get this? I'd have to like go from like our agreed upon 70% to like and then it's like then you broke the trust. You break the trust. But we just chill. We have good rolls. And like the other day, like he freaking passed my guard a couple times. And I was like, that was solid. So you could do that. Going 70%.
Absolutely.
And still using technique. Halen is my size, dude. We both weigh like 175, 180, right around there. Yep. Same size. And so that's why it's a fun role,
Agreed.
You could move around with those guys that are not like, 70, 80 pounds bigger than you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want to go off on a tangent, but they're not too small and they're not like way too big. They're right at your size and they're using good technique.
It's like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, just right.
Just right. So shout out to Halen, man.
Halen is Goldilocks.
Yeah, Halen Goldilocks. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. So, yeah, man. This is another one, right? Did we solve the world's problems?
I don't think we solved it.
We probably created a new problem.
We shined a light on it.
Shined a light on it. They probably didn't even want the light on them.
Yeah.
At least everybody didn't scatter out like roaches, though, right? So that's good. Yeah. Damn. So when you guys out there start structuring your classes, make sure you tell these new white belts the rules, man. Yeah. Don't just assume that they know, like, oh, they probably watched some videos or some shit. They probably did, but they probably
UFC.
didn't watch.
Yeah, and UFC, they're gonna pick you up and dump the guy on his head.
Hell yeah! They're like, hey man, I heard this guy named Quentin Rampage Jackson, and he did this thing to this Arona guy. That shit was awesome.
That was great.
That was Pride Fighter. Remember, he lifted him up.
Wow. But I think he still got. Did he break out of it or no? I think the guy still got it.
Knocked his ass out.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we got to double check.
No. I believe.
The Arona one.
There was one where he got it though.
I
don't know if it gets Rampage, but
I don't know if it was Rampage. Either.
But there's one guy that was just tough, and he got slammed.
I remember that one
where
he slammed Arona, dude. He unconscious that ass.
Dang.
Yeah. I think they ended up headbutting too when they hit the ground, and I guess Rampage's head is just harder. But listen, make sure you guys teach these people, right? Like, make sure that.
How do I teach these kids?
Yeah, how do I teach the kids? With Edward
Cartman.
James Almost, right?
It was Cartman from South Park.
Yeah, but he was doing a movie.
Oh yeah.
With Edward James Almost.
Yeah. How do I teach these kids?
Yes. How do we teach these kids? And by kids, I mean any new white belt. I don't care if it's a 40-year-old man who just showed up who used to do accounting all day, and now he's like, hey, I'm here to learn this jiu-jitsu. And you should teach them because, it's important that we get new people in here. And if you want to keep jiu-jitsu going, if it's important to you, you're going to make that move. You're going to make sure that you make it a good place where people will come in and they're still learning, which means you have to teach them. You have to share the knowledge. You have to share the art, right? That's if it's important to you. If it's not important to you, you'll make an excuse. You'll be like, I'm too busy. I'm just worried about myself. I don't care about these new people. I don't care how we teach these kids. Right? But then you're an asshole, so don't be that way. Be nice.
Don't be a douchebag.
Don't be a douchebag. Yeah. That's the moral of the story, right?
That's it.
Yeah, just be a good person. Don't be a douchebag. Nobody likes douchebags.
No.
I mean, I guess some
Especially in
people do.
jiu-jitsu.
Not in jiu-jitsu. Yeah, man. People-
Fortunately, there's not a lot. I don't think there's any douchebags in our school. We got
In
we
our
have
school?
a great
No.
school.
Dude,
In fact, I
our
can
school's
I can
awesome.
say the number of douchebags we've had over the past 14 years. I think I can count
handful.
two,
I was
maybe
about to say,
one or two.
Yeah, on one
and
hand,
they're
you
gone.
can get them.
They got kicked out of school.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I love this school.
So,
This is actually really cool.
It seems to draw a good crowd. And I think what happens too, Harold, the guys that really are douchebags, those guys tend to have fragile egos.
Yes.
They end up kind of like solving the problems, right? They just leave on their own.
They remove
I
themselves
don't
from
want
the
to get
equation.
submitted by a 19-year-old little girl.
Right? Like, how did she beat me
How
up
did she
so
beat me?
badly?
Yeah.
Just, anyway, man, we were on a tangent again.
I know.
So make sure, everybody, you like, you share, you subscribe. Put it out to everybody because, this shit's kind of cool,
helps.
man.
Yeah.
They're liking it. They like me. They really like me. Remember that's the old
Hey,
thing.
Mikey. He likes it. Hey, Mikey. Yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
No, but that
Okay,
was-
because that's
a
really
good one,
old.
too. Nobody watches old enough to remember Mikey.
That is, no one will know that reference.
Nobody.
If you know that reference,
It's like,
man,
he
you're old
likes
school.
it. He's like, what is it? Give it to Mikey. He'll eat
He'll
anything.
eat anything. He likes it. Hey, Mikey. Oh, bro, no one will know that unless you're like,
If you remember that one, put it in
you're
the
old school.
comments. All right.
put in Mikey. Hey, put in Mikey. He likes it in the comments and be like, man, you all right, dude.
Then we
You
know
all right.
how freaking old
We
you
know
are.
how old you are, dude. All right, Shaver.
All right,
okay,
everybody.
you guys, we'll check you guys out next week. Keep an eye on it and keep training in the meantime. And we'll talk to you guys next week. Us.
Us.